Okay, so this is for assessment 9. This chapter is an overview of relational dynamics, meaning communication between relationships, with kind of reflects to what I did my Project C on, the 5 love languages. I noticed that it kind of touched base on a lot of things that I read in that book and did my project on. I'm just going to go over some key points of what the chapter talked about. Was intimacy, close union contact, association, or adequance. Dimensions of intimacy, social, physical, emotional, intellectual, and shared activities. Depth, shift from relationship to interpersonal messages, to more personal ones. Opinions, every time you offer your personal opinion, you have been giving others info about yourself. Feelings, the most revealing out to textual 4 levels of measuring depth to disclosure. Self-care, clarification, talking out your problems. Show social influences, may your influences control overall other person and sometimes the overall situation. Rejection, people having rejection in communication and relationships. So, I mean, we all kind of fear rejection. So, I guess going back to my TV show Teen Mom, but I think that just reflecting not only to the show, but to just personal, everybody in relationships, this kind of really reflected to that book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, that I wrote. Or not that I wrote, that I did my project on, that I read. So I guess for my TV show, I'm going to do mine on Macy, because she seems to have the most, I would say, good relationship. So she, did Teen Mom and had a baby with Ryan, and now she's married to Taylor, who Taylor's a really good guy. They seem to have a really good relationship, open communication. They seem to be intimate with each other, meaning, holding hands, that type stuff. He did not ask her for a long time to marry him because he was so scared of rejection. So I know that rejection was a big topic in this chapter. Social influences. I know that both his and her friends, both Taylor and Macy's friends, were kind of, his friends were like, dude, don't do it. And then her friends were harping her of, when is he going to marry you? Is he going to marry you? What are you going to say? It also discussed self-clarification. They are really good about talking out their problems. They're both kind of calm people. Feelings. They talk about their feelings a lot. They both have really strong feelings for each other. Opinions. They did buy a house together. That was the episode. And they talked about each other's opinions. When determining what was the best house to buy. So anyways, this chapter really touched base over relationships, which I guess for TV shows, that's the best that I could say is, when it came to them buying a house together, and when he was going to marry her, and then he did finally ask her to marry him, and it was all emotional. But they're a really good couple, and they seem to be doing really well together. They now have 2 kids together themselves, and they run their own clothing brand line. So yeah, I think that was a really good chapter to read, and it really reminded me of the book that I did my Project C on, The 5 Love Languages. So yeah, it was kind of that book wrapped up all up in a chapter. So there's my assessment 9.